Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jean Gallagher, and welcome to Discover Rising Tides, how the outside makes the inside better, where we explore the importance of the outdoors in maintaining life balance. And through this series, we'll be talking with women business owners to understand their journey. And today, as always, we start with our Healthy Living, Happy Life segment with Denise Stegall. Hey, Denise.
Hey, how are you, Jean?
I'm excited for today. There's some high energy happening here.
We got some energy. We're talking about success.
Yes. Denise is an international best-selling author of Healthy Living, Happy Life, a practical path to finding a healthy lifestyle that works for you, and curator of Healthy Living List. And this month's topic is Healthy Living, Happy Life from 3,000 feet, and how planning and organizing leads to a fulfilling life. And today, how success happens with the 3P's.
Yay!
Yay! And then our second segment will be our main guest, Diane McClay, and I'm really excited for that too. And Diane and Denise are friends, and that's how we all connected. So we'll get to that. But let's start with you, Denise. And tell us about the 3P's.
Okay, so we've been talking about planning from the 3,000 foot area. So kind of looking down from up there, like you're on a plane looking down, you can see things much more clearly when you're looking from above. We get stuck in our minutia of every day. And so, when we all want to be successful, right? And so we all read a lot of books, we listen to a lot of podcasts, we listen to a lot of gurus, follow podcasts, whatever it may be. But what happens is we kind of get a little bombarded by great information. Everybody has good information, great information. The challenge, I think, where we really we start listening to all of these gurus, you and me and Diane included. But most of the challenge is before we start listening, we kind of need to know what success means to us. What is the path? Like how do we want to be successful? And of course, being successful means something different to you than it does to me. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to planning, we kind of have to go, okay, what is it that we actually want in the big picture? That's what we're looking big picture, because then we can kind of, we can get down to the nitty gritty a little bit more. So again, what is it that we want to succeed in? And you can do this, overall, this is what I want in my life. This is what I want in my business. This is what I want for the next year. Mm-hmm. So it can be something that you work on the 3P's. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. You can use the 3P's, the 3P concept for all the different areas in your life. But I think what's important is we need to start with, again, core values. What are those things that are important to you? Why do you want this particular success? Why do you want to achieve these particular goals? And at that point, that's when we can say, okay, we need a plan. Mm-hmm. So the 3P's, of course, we talked about this last time, are planning, prioritizing, and preparing. Now, what tends to happen when clients come to me, they've read all of these books and, have all these bits and pieces of ideas. They've attended events, you name it. So they've got bits and pieces of a plan. A little bit from, Dr. J, and a little one, more information from this particular book. And so they have this compilation of ideas, and it's overwhelming because they liked this piece of one program, another part of a different one. And so they kind of look at all of this going, okay, this is my overarching goal or plan that I want to succeed in, but I'm going to try to plan in 3 different ways, mm-hmm. which doesn't obviously make sense. And so for me, when I started to get my life back on track, because I had, was dealing with a health issue a handful of years ago, my success plan started simply with eat real food, make good decisions, and be accountable, which we've talked about. And for me, that was what optimized my overall well-being, gave me the energy that I was looking for. And really to find that healthy lifestyle that works for me, which is really in my life what I was looking for and what I help people to do. That said, there were also times even within that I realized I didn't exactly have a laid out plan. And so that's where I came up with the 3P's. What's that first part that I needed? I needed to know, well, what was the plan? You know, what was my goal? And the goal is part of the plan. And obviously then there are these steps. And most of us are not very good at planning. You know, we have a calendar. I have 3 of them. You know, I have one upstairs that my husband and I share. I have my Google Calendar. I have one on my, my desk just to quickly flip through. So we're not really great at planning. And then what happens is when we face an obstacle or things don't quite work in that pseudo plan, we give up. So I know it's always said, a goal without a plan is just a dream. So this is really where we want to sit down and access our inner guru and come to and sit down with a plan. What is it that we want? How do we want to achieve it? What resonates? So I ask you, Jean, if you have, what is the next thing you want to succeed in?
That question right there is so important, and it's so hard for people to answer, right? And going back to what I'll answer your question. I'm not avoiding much, but going back to what you had said before, if people are going out and getting all this information from all these different sources, and there's just information overload and it's overwhelming, it's easy to go, I have no idea. This seems like such a great idea in the beginning, but I don't remember because I've already listened to 4 other things. And that goal setting piece becomes really difficult. And I think you have to bring it back to simple, easy to understand bits and pieces, like what you just said. I needed to get to a healthy lifestyle. So let's start on a small thing and work towards it. And for me, setting goals is hard, but satisfying once you do it, because now all of a sudden you have a focus. And it's okay to have goals in different areas of your life. So I have podcast goals, I have personal goals, I have professional goals, and I have relationship goals. But having them siloed, even though it's all me, having them siloed helps a little bit, and but they also each touch each other.
Yes. And so 2 things that I think are really important, especially when it comes to that, to creating those goals. I love the SMART goal. I love making SMART goals because they're you can write them down and they're right in front of you, that you can keep them right in front of you. That's one of the first things I tell people. Let's look at what that first goal is. Like for me, I want to lose 5 pounds. What is, what is that? That's my goal, because it's measurable. It's pretty simple. I want to lose 5 pounds by August 9th, whatever. So smarter goals really helps you to start that plan. To me, that's really the beginning of the plan. When you talk about, siloing things, something that I really love to do with my clients is the life wheel. And you've seen it called all sorts of different things. It's where that pie chart of where it says, you have different aspects of your life, your health, your sleep, your relationships. I love using one of those. And I actually recommend to my clients that they do it every quarter. Because this is how you can keep, the silos, everything in a different section, but at the same time, because they all connect. I mean, your professional goals and your personal goals connect. Your personal goals and your relationship goals connect. And so by keeping an eye on that, the life wheel, and I change, depending on the client, we change the categories. And so that's a great way to, one, plan, but it's also a great way to prioritize.
Oh, I like that too. And people can understand that it ebbs and flows. It's really a moving thing. So it can change quarter to quarter. And what's interesting in what you're saying is when I talk to people for financial goals, goals for me, when I'm talking to them about goals, I tell them the goals need to have three things. They have to have an identifier. It has to have a name. It has to have a dollar amount assigned to it. And it has to have a time frame. So when you're saying, I want to lose 5 pounds in however long, you've just done the same thing with a non-financial goal. Is you've given it a name, a purpose. You've said what your time frame is, and you said what you wanted to achieve during that time frame. So it makes it very simple. It's not just something that's out in the ether. It is this thing that's going to do this thing by this time frame.
Exactly. And too often when people start to create a plan, it's I want to lose 5 pounds. And then that's where it stays.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of using the concept of the SMART goal gives you those other pieces that you need. And
then that gives you a chance to prepare. So now here's your goal. Now, what are you going to do to achieve that in the prepare part?
Right. Often in the prioritizing piece, before we get to the preparation, it really is, okay, so I want to lose 5 pounds by August 9th. That, in that priority. So maybe you actually want to lose 10 pounds, or kind of sitting in that, 10 pound, 5 pound, whatever it might be. So say I'm going to change my goal to, I want to lose 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That prioritizes, before you get to 10 pounds, you've got to get to that first 5, right?
Right.
So I think that's a little bit where we need to prioritize. We can't have this grandiose, I need to lose 100 pounds by next month.
Mm-hmm. Break it into smaller sections that are mentally and physically attainable.
Right. So there's a little bit more of that prioritizing piece. But yes, now how do you prepare for that?
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that, one, I always say one of the most important things is to get your family and friends on board. If you live with other people, you're trying to lose weight, and you're going to say, I'm going to go vegan for a month. That's a little extreme, but let's just say that. And you do all the cooking. You might want to tell your spouse or partner that you're planning on doing this, because it's going to affect them.
Mm-hmm.
So part of that preparation really is about preparing other people too.
Mm-hmm.
And it works with your work career goals too. If you have a goal that you want to reach in your job with your career, and you work with other people, it's really important for them to know, because if you're busy doing something and you're not as available to people, they might get frustrated because you're not available to them the way you used to be. So again, preparation is really important to think of outside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the most important thing is to then actually prepare yourself personally. Get the food that you want, get the recipes, plan meal planning times. So all of that comes into the preparation. And again, like I said, it works with your personal and professional and physical goals too.
One of the challenges of preparation, though, is that it can be a procrastinator, because, well, I don't have everything in place, so this isn't going to work. So now we're in overcoming that perfection of preparation.
I was going to say, now we come into a 4th P, perfectionism.
Yeah. We're on the same page, right?
Exactly.
Well, I can't do this because I don't have it all. I don't have all the recipes. I don't have all the food. And that just creates a downward spiral.
It can. And so what I always tell my clients, especially when it comes to diet and exercise, is get one day right, get one meal right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start small.
Mm-hmm.
Because what will happen, especially with that perfectionism, if you don't have everything in place, everything's not perfect, then you go, oh, well, I screwed up, so I'm not going to reach this goal.
Mm-hmm.
You've got lots of time to reach a goal. Between now and August 9th, if I screw up today with my goal of losing 5 pounds, I can definitely pick up tomorrow where I left off.
It's about giving yourself grace.
Part also.
Yeah, giving yourself grace,
mm-hmm.
but not using it as a crutch to not try again.
Absolutely. Anytime we don't succeed in something, we automatically think that we're not good enough. we can't do this. And it really is a mindset. It's that internal judge that we have. You know, I always think it's the little angel on the one side and the little devil on the other. The little devil is a lot louder than the little angel. And so let's another time we'll talk about the little angel and the devil in more detail, and how that can help us, obviously, with success with our health and our wellness, and our exercise goals and food goals.
I look forward to that. Thank you, Denise. As always, it's informative, but also achievable.
Thank you.